Demoniac gonna be first up versus what looked like the Chief, but Chief is maybe twitching around or trying to see if he can pick up a Warlock Hellstone, but it's just not gonna let him anymore. Still trying to see if he can pick it up, even through the garrotes and the ruptures. Big lasso onto the Rogue right afterwards with a Frosty Shock to follow, knocking him back as the Rogue trying to see if he can get some damage in, having to sprint back over, but the slow is there and it is doing work. Cloak of Shadows right after as a full set of dots is onto the Chief. The man is not in a great spot, even though he can avoid a lot of Rogue's attacks, but the bleeds are still in. It doesn't matter if he's in the ground or not. Demonic is going to make sure to bury you back in there. Using Burrow, you use Burrow to put yourself in the ground defensively. I use Burrow to put you into the ground through my bleeds. We are not the same. Literally, out of all the memes that jumped into my head, that was the one that I got. Oh, my brain, what is happening? Kidney shot on Diabolicals as he's playing back without destruction. It's going to be a trinket out of Demoniac, though. Trying to see if he can avoid it. Smoke Bomb trying to see if he can recover himself away from the portal. And actually, the portal does let him just like appearing. Forgot where the Rogue was. Went away. Looks like Smoke Bomb does counter the portal pretty well then, apparently. Huh. Who would have known? It's going to be putting some dots into the Succubus. Honestly, may not be the worst is to get Succubus super low dead and then start attacking Diabolicals, right? Let the Succubus hover at no health whatsoever, force him to summon a fresh new one, and then do the same thing again to the next Succubus, and then you'll be good. Big vanish out of Demoniac, though. I don't even know how he broke out of that CC. It's going to be Succubus catching in just a moment as Diabolicals does get interrupted on fire and is able to summon up a couple more portals. Shadow Step ready, trying to go for a position, but doesn't really go far. Does get himself plenty of movement, though, with a Shadow Burn teleport. The Demoniac looking for a reset behind the pillar, but he's just going to barrage in every direction, chomping down the Warlock kick and just to give him a bit of an opportunity here. But yet another portal from the Nether opens back up. More chaos just starts siphoning back to the man's face, trying to go for a kidney shot as a big defensive will. The wall is out for Diabolicals. Unless Demonic can maybe somehow find a way to break past those defenses. I don't really know what else he could really do in this situation. Does get stunned up. Bonds or fell, doesn't even matter. I think it's just an incinerate just to blaze the guy just right through him. The Scar gonna be up next. Diabolical needs to find a way to recuperate himself real fast. He wants to find a way to fight through the Demon Hunter. That's gonna be a lot of bursts to deal with. Does go in for a bit of a fell rush around the corner with a fell blade fear right after, with a trinket to follow a stun, and immediately it's gonna be maybe second, but CC does catch the Demon Hunter for just a moment, and Diabolical is gonna go for a bit of a reposition. Blur is up for DH, trying to see if he can get around the corner. Dia got himself a little bit of mobility, defensively he might not be in a great spot, needs to go for some kind of CC, but not a lot he can really do in the moment. Got himself a gate, but as long as he can get some kind of a slow into Scar, I don't really know if he can really get around the guy that easily. In prison, Succubus does catch him last second, which is so good for Diabolical. He may not be out of the woods just yet. Oh, no health at all? Oh, he's just done. Oh, this is done. Unless he can heal some way somehow right now. Oh, it's over, right? Oh, no. The borrowed health. Oh, no. That is so rough. With Vol gonna be up next as the chill pills on the Shadow Priest. Starting off strong as best as he can. Trinket immediately off of that stun. Trying to make sure he doesn't let Scar pick up any birds, but now Scar is gonna try to see if he can drop down a poor. Woo! Sigil of Misery countered by Shadow Ward Death. Just made sure to get some damage back into himself. Well timed. The Demon Hunter got plenty of mobility though. Volk slowly starting to catch up a little bit every time he uses Power Word Shield. He gives himself a bit more movement. Fear onto Scar. Big Dark Ascension right after. Mind Games to follow. Maybe an opportunity for him to have a go if he can somehow fight through the darkness. Imprisoned for a moment. Still dots are rotting down the DH. He's going to have to make some kind of a play. Stun right after with an I-Beam. Gives him a little bit of that Metamorphosis together with Hunt and big damage in order to maybe get himself big healing. Going to be a full stun Void Torrent. No health at all. Trying to see if he can charge past him, but a Shadow Ward Death does end up executing him. With the Rosie going to be up next. Trying to see if he can mosey over. Rosie with a mosey. Over to Volk. Wait, Rosie moseying over with a Mosey and Nagan. That would be like a way to do it, right? Mosey and Nagan? Is that what the weapon was called back in the day? Is that what it was? Like the Russian sniper or whatever? Or is it Nosy? I don't even remember. I don't remember, dude. I don't even know. Rosie blasting out Volk though. Maybe in this first situation, the guy is trying to see if he can deny it as best as possible. as the Shadow Fiend or the Siphon going to be up for just a moment, trying to see if we can slow him down. Does go for the fade for just a minute. Seeing his health, goes in for disperse. Next to Rosie wants to go for a fear. I don't really know if he has anything left. Does have a stun by the looks of it, maybe? Stuns him with a trick to follow. Fear immediately gives the Shadow Priest a chance to get himself a bit of a breather. Mind games into Rosie, who is going to go feign death in all of it, but it's going to horrify him right after. Volk is going to have to take the stun from a biting shot. Could be an opportunity for the Hunter to maybe end it. Fade for just a moment. Does get juked on the kick. Oh, but the kill shot does so much damage. It was ramping up the big void eruption. Finally got himself a big go, but a kill shot right in the gut. And it is going to be freeze onto the rogue, as Rosie needs to get himself a bit of a reset. Is going to send the pet. Let the pet do a little bit of damage, but is trying to mostly just kind of play it a little bit more safely, carefully. Is going to get himself a camo at some point, which is exactly what it needed, as Tyr is going to be out for a hunt. Eyes are up for a good distance, but Rosie making sure to drop a flare just in case the rogue is going to go for it. Looking for that recovery. Needs to get a trinket back up. Acceleration, maybe pet stack. I don't know if that's on a cooldown or not. Maybe Warlock Hellstone. The longer this goes on, the better it is going to be for the Hunter. But Tyr, does he realize he's literally right on top of them all? Oh, if he only would have started with a cheap shot. I don't even know if he realized he was right on top of the guy. Sometimes it's really hard to see when you're in stealth and they're in stealth. Unless it's a rogue next to another rogue, you hear that, ooh, right? That sound the rogues have whenever they stealth up. That's the best I can do, honestly. But for Hunter Camo, I don't think there's a sound. It's just like you either see them translucent walking through, or you don't. And it's a little bit of a rough one, honestly. Player getting out in the open, pick up the eye for Rosie. And she'll be able to see Tyr around the corner. Starting up with a grenade. Shadow Step immediately by the rogue. Does get himself a cheap shot. Second step right after will be kind of limited on mobility. Massive technique onto Rosie. It is a trinket out of the rogue. Perfect opportunity for Rosie to have himself a go into a biting shot right after. Gonna make it more difficult for the rogue to really do stuff. But the Cloak of Shadows does give him that immunity, at least from the magic damage and whatever physical damage you can throw at the guy. With another vanish, maybe give himself a proper reset. Feign death by Rosie into a manic bandages, but a freezing trap waiting for the rogue. Well done, well done. Not out of the woods yet. Still super low in health, but maybe if you can kite out the rogue, you might be in a decent spot. Tyr trying to get himself that line of sight. Rosie trying to stay a step ahead of the rogue with a slow immediately. Gonna be that stun trinket available. Death shotgun at the ready. No stun available for Rosie for a moment. Evasion up for Tyr though. Big secret technique. Charles to try to see if he can deny a lot of that damage back from the rogue. Smoke bomb with a char trap down. I was thinking it was a flare for a second. As Rosie backs up out of the disarmor to the rogue, harpooning just to stop him in place. Does go for the vanish, blind before the flare can come down. Tyr is dotted still. The pet could get some damage onto you. Does get himself a reset though with the sap. Oh no! I was thinking we were gonna let the pet attack so the guy can catch a restuff, but there it is. There it is. Cheap shot. Tyr could end this right here. Does he have the damage? Oh, the freezer trap stops him. Exilla's back up. Rosie, you better. Might want to use Exil. Maybe if you could just sit in camo, you won't have to. 15 seconds on a cloak for Tyr. So Rosie, I think wants to go aggressive. If you have yourself Death Shock him and everything, Death Shock him, stun the guy. Starting up with the grenades off the bat. Does go for the stun. Explosive to follow. Death Shock him. Could be the big go. Has himself a cloak. Does use the cloak to deny a lot of this damage. Shadow Blades at the ready. Rosie trying to see if he can back away. Get a shot right after. You have the pet stack right now. Oh no! Exil! Oh, secret! Oh, it's the last second. It does get hit by a secret either way. Into a stun. Disarmor after. Man's got nothing really left. Cheat death. What does he have? A shadow strike. Cheap shot last second. Oh! Are you kidding me? That was so close. Are you kidding me? That was incredibly close. Short and deadly trinkets out of this. Doesn't want to get Rosie out of his sight at all. Wait a second. Oh, Blade Storm. There's no way you lose that. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? I was gonna say. Oh, and Warcock is gonna be up next. What a name! But War is gonna be up next with Spirit in the back. I do like the name Spirit though. Oh, I like that with the tabard and the mog and like the different set of pants too. I like that. Looks good. I feel like maybe the side doesn't really match, but unless you're trying to go for like a Fae looking Grim Reaper-esque thing, maybe then I could see it. Gonna be War backing up out of there. Playing Destruction. Are you playing with a pet sacrifice or are you playing with like a succubus somewhere? I'm thinking you're actually playing normal like pet sacrifice. Maybe like a I don't know what you would pick up. I guess you would pick up Blueberry, right? and sacrifice that for a little bit extra health. Drop it on Infernal. Short and Deadly getting aggressive in the opener. Got to be a wall immediately by War. Dropping down even more gateways. Chaos Bolt flying in, but that's a reflect available for Short. I don't really know if we were able to reflect that one though. Probably not. Another bolt right after is going to be a Storm Bolt to follow. Short and Deadly trying to see if he can end this duel right then and there. There's going to be a port for War. Short needs to reconnect with the guy. He can't really be out in the open getting blasted out by these Infernals. Trying to see if he can slay one after the other, as the portal is still going to keep attacking him in the back, and War just needs a little bit more damage. Just another proc is trying just to burn through as many of the rain of fires just to build up maybe for another blast for me to drop down onto Short and Deadly's head. If you could do it, that could give him the victory. He needs a little bit, a few seconds for that mortal coil, but Short, second wind kicking in. It's pretty big for War right now. It's up to you. Do you charge in? Do you stop the second wind? Do you play aggressive or do you play defensive? Trying to see if he can get aggressive, but the longer it goes on, the better it is for Short. Caught up a little bit of health, but 56% dampening definitely is going to be taken away from some of that value. Another reflect is up. Bladestorm to follow. Can ignore this port right now. Actually, no. Bladestorm does not ignore the port. Is that true? Is that real? I thought it ignores it. The man is in execute range. Short, if he has himself a stun, summon anything, just lock it for a moment. You'll be a golden stun around the corner. It's going to give War opportunity to support. Trying to see if he can set up some damage. Bladestorm right after. Big gateway. Leap right after. Oh, execute does take him out. Right down the middle of the eyes, middle of the skull. This is a big old execute chopping him down. My goodness. Spirit trying to see if he can get around the pillar. Trying to see if he can get himself a bit around the bend. Versus Short, who's looking for that health recovery. You're in a group sober. We are on an A right now. But if you're on an A, yes, there's groups. Did you just reflect that? The freezing trap? That was golden. It's going to be immediate bleeds of the spirit. Try to see if he can get out of the CC. Fear immediately into a silence on the Short and Deadly. Does get himself a bit of parry. You do have also a poison coursing through for that chimeric that reduces your damage done by like 25%. But by now it should probably be gone. Scatter right after him. Short Deadly Spirit still could be maybe in a decent enough spot. Needs to find a way to get away from Short. What a reflect on that freezing trap that was. Just trying to see if he can set up CC. Look how healthy he's looking. Is this guy going to end up taking it right here? Stun, Trinket out of Spirit. Needs to get something going right now. Trying to go for a camo. Feign death for just a second. Trying to go for a bit of damage on his own, but it looks of it. Stun right after. Short and Deadly has a Trinket last second. Bladestorm to follow. It is going to be the Hunter leaping back in. Gets super low. Short and Deadly with a charge. Execute. I think the bleeds are going to take it, right? No, got a little bit of healing. Exil last second while Turtle Shell is still up. Reflect back up. Oh, it just goes in with an execute. Just let the animation queue up and just slam down as the Turtle Shell comes down. Short and Deadly does pick it back up. My goodness, that was nice. That was really good. I thought it was really great. I thought it was well done. I enjoyed that. Short and Deadly. Definitely Deadly. Definitely the Short portfolio. All right, let's get us another going, boys. When he said